Hi there, you've got Cornelius here, and I'm sitting at my desk where I sit every Sunday night as I prepare for Mondays at school. And if you're anything like me, this is probably a ritual that's familiar to you. This year, the Sunday scaries have been particularly real for me, right? That urgency that I feel on Sunday night as Monday looms. And they've been unique for several reasons, but one of the things that I've been contending with this year is the reality that I am working for the first time with curricular approaches that have been handed to me. And so many of my friends and colleagues around the country have asked me, Cornelius, how do we bring a curriculum that has been handed to us to life with our students, given their unique needs, dispositions, attitudes, and experiences? And so today, I really wanted to think with you all about how we take a curriculum that we've been handed and make it a powerful experiences for our unique students. There are three things that I consider whenever I am handed a curricular approach. I have some considerations for before the lesson, some things that I think about during the lesson, and then things that I want to reflect on and structure after each lesson. Before each lesson, the first question that I always ask myself is, what are the learning targets outlined here? I want to make sure that I am really clear, not just about the activities, but about what kids are expected to learn. Because if I can hold tightly to the learning targets, that allows me to make slight adjustments throughout the experience of the lesson as I am making my way toward those learning targets. I think often about what are the ways that I might need to fine-tune this lesson to meet the needs of kids. And I do that using a lens of universal design for learning. So I think about how am I creating opportunities for expression. So if the lesson demands that kids write, are there opportunities for them to talk or build or draw? Are there opportunities for them to really kind of think about what their knowledge looks like as they're sharing it with me? The second thing I think about, of course, are there opportunities for engagement? How does this lesson expect kids to stay committed to the work? And how might I add opportunities for kids to find themselves in this work? Might I add connections to our community? I might think about the big why that kids often ask. I might even think about, contextualizing this learning with things that they experience in the classroom, in other parts of the school, or in their neighborhoods. And then finally, of course, I think about how I am even bringing this lesson to them. Like, what's the print look like on the board? Are there opportunities for kids to see visuals? Are there opportunities for kids to hear me in different ways? Do I, have enough amplification of my voice? All of those things. What's the pace of my speaking? That all of those things aren't necessarily scripted in my manual, but those are things that have like a significant impact on how kids learn. Then during the lesson, after I've thought about those things before the lesson, during each lesson, I'm really clear about the learning target with kids, and I'm clear about the why. I am often making sure that there is joy here. That joy cannot be written into a teacher's manual, and so I pay close attention to the kids, to their needs, and I think about how in this learning can I find adventure? Can I find challenge? Can I find joy? And then, of course, as kids work, I am celebrating and naming the things that they're accomplishing. That it's sometimes hard to learn new things. Well, a lot of times hard to learn new things. And so as kids are, putting forth effort, I want to be really clear about my feedback so that they know exactly how they're growing and they can see the impact that their work is having on their understanding. I spend a lot of time, taking notes. What seems to be working for each kid, what's not working. Because then after the lesson, I move to a period of reflection. I sit with my friends and my colleagues and we think about what kids were able to do. We think about the areas that were difficult for them. We think about the adjustments that we made, which ones worked, and which adjustments we can make moving forward. That just because we've been handed a curriculum does not mean that we need to do things word for word. It actually means that we do things student by student. We think specifically about what they need. We think about the learning outcomes. We think about, all of the things that go into their growth, and we can make the necessary adjustments that ensure that every kid can use the resources that we've been given to learn powerfully.